This is the Be a Hero Gaming channel where we talk about all things gaming and how you can be a hero in real life. And speaking of all things gaming, my wife keeps telling me that my videos are too broad, and she said I need to find a niche. And I watched other YouTube channels that have a niche or a specific game type they talk about, and man, I just cannot narrow it down. There is not a game that I won't play. Some I like better than others, that's for sure, but man, there's not a game I won't play, whether it's these tiny games like this, or a card game, or a collectible card game, or an RPG. I just can't seem to narrow down the specific game type that I like. So I hope that's okay with you guys. I did a video on this game just a little bit ago, and I felt like I kind of rushed through it. I wanted to do a quick playthrough today, just so you could kind of see how the game plays out, how easy it is to set up, and how much fun this game can be. So first of all, speaking about our real lives, things don't need to be complicated. I mean, I talked about this game a little bit in the other video about how you can see how small it is here. It just fits right in your hand here. The game can fit right in your pocket. It's a little bit bigger than a cell phone, but not quite, maybe a little wider. But the game is very small, easy to transport, and you can take it almost anywhere. I will say I like Bloodthorn Island a tiny bit better than the original. And that's just because the items in this game are almost required to get you through the scenario. And so I kind of like that, how the items are very scenario specific and you need them to get you through the scenario. So this game I had a little bit more fun with. But again, this game is still very cool. Just want to do a quick playthrough again here and show you guys how it plays out. Sometimes in our lives, the simplest answer is the right answer. And I think sometimes we try to overcomplicate things, and it just makes things more difficult. And even in gaming, that's the same thing. Sometimes it's easy just to pull this game out and throw it on the table instead of getting some giant game out and setting it all up and taking forever to put it all together. So let me just kind of show you how this game plays out here. So inside here, you've got the rule book. These cubes are going to be used to play the game, the dice for all your rolls, and this is all these cards of the game right here. So I'll take these cards, I'll dump these cards out, and just do a quick little setup here. First of all, these top two cards here are going to be player aids, and they just show you here that on your turn you can move and take an action. There's free actions like revealing a tile, getting an item, or passing an item that can be done in between moves and don't count as your main action. Once all the players have taken their turn, there's a possible seismic event. You roll the d20 on a 17 through 20. All characters take 1 damage. And it's just kind of a house rule we do for this, just to make it a little less brutal, is if we roll a 1 on this, we say that the chamber made a critical failure, and so we all heal 1 damage. It doesn't happen very often, but we just do that to kind of ease this up a little bit. And actually, in Bloodthorn Island, they changed that to a 19 or a 20. I don't know if they thought this was a little too brutal or not. I don't know. The monsters get to move, make an attack. If they roll a 1 through 5 on their attack roll, they run 4 spaces away from you. So these, again, just player aids. You don't need to use those, but they can be used for the game. These gray cards are all the heroes. Today we're going to be using Odin and Draven. Okay, so we'll just pull those 2 guys out here. We'll set the rest of the cards aside. And here you have the 3 scenarios. They're all color-coded, so you know which scenario is which. We're going to be playing the first scenario today, so we'll take that one off here and set the rest of this stuff aside. And inside the book here, there's a little bit of flavor text at the very beginning as far as what you're going to do. I will probably just mention really quick, this might be kind of a spoiler, not really. There's not a whole lot that goes on in the first scenario. And again, I'll show you how the game is going to change every time you play it. So even those 3 scenarios, they will change the dungeon layout every time you play. So inside the book here, it tells you that the sun hasn't risen over the city of Goriah in over a decade. Pestilence runs rampant, and rations have dwindled to mere scraps. Deep below the city's surface lie the dark and cursed Crypts of Aurelian, where the most evil and destructive of creatures have been laid to rest. Some believe that the city's hard luck began almost 200 years ago upon the entombment of Orem, the most insidious executioner of his era. There are rumors that he was buried with the Amulet of Fire, a magical object so powerful it is not safe in the hands of any mortal. The only hope for Goriah is to search out Orem and reclaim the amulet to restore light to the land. Okay, so just a brief little intro there as far as what you're trying to accomplish in this game here. So as you descend into the depths here, each scenario is going to have one little card here that's going to show you the dungeon layout and give you a little more text. So this is your dungeon layout here. You descend into a cold, dark chamber divided by enormous stone walls. A wretched odor of ancient decay hangs in the air. You advance cautiously and suddenly, movement in the shadows catches your eye. Okay, so we're going to set this card down here. This card here with the hollowed out circle is your starting tile. And you can see here, it shows that to go right down here. So we'll just leave that card at the top here. And again, so however you arrange this, it's going to be different. So we'll just do it however we flip them over here. And then so we're going to have a tile here, and one here, and one up here, and one over here. And it does say in the instructions that you flip them over sideways. I don't think it really matters in this game which way you flip the tiles over, because again, you're going to shuffle these up, so they're all going to be in different spots, and they're going to be turned different ways, and so that's going to arrange your dungeon just slightly differently as you play. Okay, and then in this dungeon, there's going to be 4 different items that you can get, so we'll just kind of shuffle these items up here a little bit, and we'll stick these down here. And there are going to be 2 different monsters in this scenario. And I will say one of them is challenging and the other one is not so challenging. So hopefully we get the wimpy guy first. We'll see what happens there. So put those items down there. And then we have our characters here. We have Odin. And this is his armor, what it takes to hit him. You got to roll a 15 or higher. This is his movement. And here's his hit points here. So we're going to stick Odin over here. And he has this bolt strike ability. Just real quick rundown of this here. This is your modifier to your roll. This is your range, 3 to 5 squares. The 2 arrows mean you can attack multiple enemies, and it does 2 damage. Okay, he also has an additional movement ability. He's got the battle axe that can cause 1 damage, so he gets an additional bonus for that because it's 1 space away and only causes 1 damage. This causes a little bit more damage, so a little bit harder to do there. And he can heal. On a 14 through 20, heal 1 hit point, 1 successful use per level, and they count this as a level, so I guess you could just use this 1 time. All right, so we'll put his ability cards down here. Move these back a little bit so they're not in the glare there. And then we are also going to be playing with Draven. He has a little bit less armor, same movement, and same hit points. And Draven has the quarterstaff, which he gets a big bonus on, 1 space away. He can only hit 1 enemy and 1 damage. The shield and strike, 1 space away. He gets a slight deduction from this because it gets +2 armor to you and adjacent characters. Not too bad. And the gust of fire that can hit multiple enemies, 2 damage, no bonus to that, and his additional move. So we will just stick those right down here like that. And sorry about the glare there. I was trying to avoid that. But now these don't have to be arranged so tight here. I just did that just so they would all kind of fit in the camera here. And then you have your goal card at the end that you will read when you are finished with the scenario. So we will dump out our dice over here, and we'll dump out all these little cubes. And the way this works is there is 1 cube. Let's see, Odin is blue. There's 1 cube with your symbol on it. There it is here. And that's just going to start right down here where Odin begins. And then there is a orange one with a symbol on it for Draven, and he's going to start right over here. And then you get 1 cube to track the hit points. Oops, I put down the wrong one. It was over here. And then you get 1 cube that's going to track which ability you've used, because you can't use the same ability twice in a row, which is kind of a bummer, but that's the way the game is played. In that way, it forces you to kind of mix up the abilities a little bit that you use. Now, you would normally roll now for initiative to see who goes first. We'll just have Odin take the first turn, and since he's on this side, we'll just move this way. So if we look here, Odin has a movement of 6. We will move Odin 6 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can stop there your movement to reveal the tile. You're gonna flip that over. And there's an item here. So we're gonna place the item cube right on there and continue his movement, 5, 6. And Odin does have a dash ability, so we'll use that to move him an additional 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. He can't quite reach the item yet. You are able to move through friendly characters, but not through enemies. So I'm able to freely move through my own guy, but once there's an enemy on the board, I can't move through them, which can get kind of difficult if you're stuck like in a tight hallway. Now we'll have Draven take a turn here, and his movement is 5. So he's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he has an additional movement of 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, The rules do say that you are supposed to be on the same space as the item in order to pick it up. We kind of don't like that, and sometimes we house rule it that you can pick it up if you're next to it, which I'm going to do now just to speed things up. But in the rules, you do have to be standing on the item to pick it up. Also, if you're going to hand an item to somebody else, you have to be on the same square, hand it off, and then move off. You can't end your movement on the same square. So I'm going to pick up the item. Let's see what I get. Draven is going to find the first item, and it is a transport. This incantation, use incantation to transport to an empty space on a revealed tile. Use in place of movement on any turn, discard after use. Okay, so this is one use. In this game, you're allowed to carry 2 items to the next scenario with you. In Bloodthorn Island, you cannot do that. But in this game, you can carry 2 items. So if I don't use this game, I can use it in a future game. Now, there's no enemies on the board, but we're still going to roll for the seismic event. And we rolled a 16. So luckily, just barely missed the seismic event. No cave-ins, nothing happened. We're safe. And when you do get the item, you will remove the cube from the board. If one of your characters dies, who is holding the item, then you will just place the item where the character died and somebody else can come pick it up. Now, we've used the dash ability for both of these guys, so they will not be able to use that on the next turn. So we're going to have Odin go ahead and take a turn here. He has the movement of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to flip this. Oh, we found our first enemy. Okay. We've also found an item. So we're going to put the item on here. And I think I just moved, let's see, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. He still has 2 more left. And so the enemy now we're going to flip over. And it's going to be, oh, the henchman. He's the tough guy. Okay. Now here's how the game is scaled here. You can see on the henchman there's these little dots on his hit points, whether you're playing with 1, 2, 3, or 4 characters. So with 2 characters, he's going to start with 7 health. This is his armor. He gets a big bonus to his attack, and he can attack anybody within 2 to 4, within range, for 2 damage. So this guy is a tough adversary. And you can see here up in the corner, this is just to distinguish what enemy is which. He's the circle with a line through it. So we'll find that cube over here, and we'll place him on the map. And we'll place the cube on his hit points starting at 7. Okay. So, let's see here. What are we going to do with the henchman here? What can Draven do? Odin's turn. What kind of movement does this guy have? 3. So he can't move very far. So let's, I'm going to move my 5, 6 over here. And then, now that I haven't used this again, we just take the cube off because he didn't use an ability, so he wouldn't be using it 2 turns in a row. And next, we're going to have Draven take a turn. He's going to go 1, 2, 3... I think he's just going to hang out right there. And let's see what the henchman does. First of all, we're going to roll for the seismic event. A 1. Oh, so we're not damaged yet, so we don't heal. But it was a very, very quiet time in the cave, even though there's an enemy in the cave now. So now, after no seismic event, we're going to have the enemy take his turn. And the way the enemy is supposed to attack, to decide who to attack here, we always just make it the closest person, or sometimes we'll just guess. It's supposed to be left to right, top to bottom in the dungeon. Okay, so here we left to right, top to bottom. He would go after Odin over here, the blue one, because that's the one closest to the top or to the left. I know they're kind of both almost the same to the left, but he's closer to the top. So the henchman is going to move. He has a movement of 3 spaces, so he's going to go 1, 2, 3. And fortunately for us, 1, 2, 3, 4, he is out of range, and so he cannot attack us. So he's just going to go right there. It's going to move on to Odin's turn. Odin is going to take a, let's see here. He has a ranged attack that I can attack 3 to 5 away. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, just right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And as long as I can go from the middle of my square to the middle of his square, I can see him. And luckily, he's just around the corner, so I can see him. And I'm going to use my bolt strike. Again, it's 3 to 5 squares away. You can move orthogonally. You cannot move diagonally in this game. And same thing with measuring distance. So I'm just going to measure 1, 2, 3, 4. And he's in perfect range. I got a -2 to my roll, unfortunately, but I can hit him for 2 damage. So come on, big roll, big roll, big roll. An 8. That is not going to be enough to damage him. So he's going to end his turn, and we're going to move on to Draven here. And Draven can gust of fire this guy. So we're going to 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to move Draven right over here. And he is going to use gust of fire, which he gets a +0, but he does 2 damage, 3 to 4 spaces away. A 20. Okay. Oh my goodness. Yes. Critical success. Now, In this game, the instructions advise you to add 1 to the damage if you get a 20. If I roll a 1, I take a damage myself, according to the instructions. But we don't feel like that's grand enough. And so we say with the 20, it doubles the damage. But again, the instructions only add 1 with a critical hit. But I like it better with double the damage. That just sounds so much cooler. So 2 damage, he's going to take 4 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's going to cut his life almost in half. Let's see, he's got more than that. He's only got 3 left. But it's his turn now. He's going to roll. Let's see if there's a cave in first. Oh, roll off the table. Was there a cave in? A 1. Oh my goodness. Man, this dice is killing me. I mean, it's working out good for you. 1. So there's no cave in and nobody's damaged. So again, the house rule doesn't apply. Again, that's not in the game. We just do that just to make the game a little bit more fun. And that's the coolest thing about this game. I mean, the rules are so simple that you can add things, take things away, just to twist it a little bit to your liking. So luckily there's no cave-in or anything like that, but unfortunately the henchman can attack 2 to 4 spaces away, so he's going to move right here and he's going to be able to hit both of us. Now, I don't know if you're supposed to do a separate roll for each character because he can hit both. He's got the double arrows here, so he can hit both. We always do a separate roll for each one. So he's going to go after Draven first there, and he's going to roll a 15 plus 5 is going to be a solid hit. So Draven's going to take 2 damage, and then he's going to go after Odin, and he's going to roll on Odin. He's going to roll a 13. Oops. And the 13 plus 5 is going to be 18. That is also going to be a hit on Draven. So, or sorry, on Odin. Man, ooh, okay. He's paying us back here. He's paying us back for sure. This is where the game gets a little bit sticky because you have to move first before you attack, which makes it difficult because now I'm only going to be able to get 1 guy in there to attack because of this tight hallway right here you can see. That's the rule of the game. Again, I guess you could house rule that if you wanted to attack and then move, but in this case, we would have to move anyway because we only have our ranged attacks left. And so, let's see, Odin's going to go first, so Odin's going to jump over here, right into the fray here, and jump right at the henchman, and he's going to use his battle axe now. And you know what? He's not going to do that. He's not going to use his battle axe. What he's going to do is he's going to stay here, and he's going to try to use his healing ability. On a 14 through 20, he's going to heal a hit point, and he rolls a 11. That's not going to be enough. So, unfortunately, Odin does not heal a hit point. Draven's going to move right up in the battle here, and he's going to use his quarterstaff that he gets a +4 on. So I will take the +4. Oh, a 4 is an 8. That's not going to be enough. So we're going to roll for another seismic event, and a 4. Luckily, there's no seismic event that occurred. And now the henchman doesn't like how close he is here, so he's going to back away slightly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, he can still reach both of us. So he's going to go after Draven, the orange one, first. And he rolls a 9 plus 5 is 14. That's going to be 2 damage on Draven. Ooh, Draven's getting hammered. And now on Odin, he rolls a 7 plus 5 is 12. Not going to be enough to damage Odin with the superior armor at 15. Okay, so sometimes these battles can get a little bit drawn out, especially with the henchman, because he's kind of a little bit tougher to defeat. So it can be a little bit more drawn out with that. But luckily now we are able to do our ranged attacks against. We use our close stuff. Again, you can't use the same ability twice. You got to move to a different one. So we're going to go with Odin first. Odin can attack 3 to 5 away, so he's just going to stay right where he is, and he's going to be able to reach him there. He's going to get a -2, though, for his bolt strike. So with a 15 armor, he's got to get a 17 or higher, which that's pretty tough to do. A 20. Oh, my goodness. Do you see that? I can't even believe that. Are you serious? Oh, man. So with the regular rule, it's going to be 2 damage, +1. He's going to be defeated. 1, 2, 3. That is awesome. Oh, man, I can't even believe it. We've never had rolls like this. I can't even believe this. Okay, so the henchman's going to get annihilated. So we're going to stick him on the bottom here. He just got worked. And let's see, that was Odin's turn. And so we're going to have Draven take his turn now, and he's going to get a 5 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to use his dash movement. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to roll, see if there's a cave in. A 15, no cave in, luckily. Okay, Odin's now going to take his turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we could reveal this tile. I kind of want to go get that item first. So let's not do that yet. And he's going to use his dash movement. He's going to go 1, 2, 3. And I think I'm just going to have him hang out right there. Okay, now Draven's going to make his regular move of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, this is why we made this rule, because it always ends up like this. You're right next to it, and you just need one more space to pick it up. And just so the game doesn't go on and on and on, we just say, okay, I picked up this item. So I grab this item here, and let's see what I get. Draven is going to get the spear. Okay, the spear is a range 1 to 4. 1 damage if I use it alone, 3 damage if I use it with the fire, which is probably another item in here. And I use it in place of an action, automatic hit to 1 monster, and I discard it after use. So apparently you throw the spear at him and it just obliterates to pieces. So I have the spear and I have the transport item now. And that's the final turn. So we're going to roll to see if there's a cave in. A 3. There's no cave in, luckily. Okay. Now, Odin is just going to, before he moves, he's going to flip this card. And there's the final monster. Now, in order to defeat the chamber, I have to defeat the final monster. And then the scenario is basically won. Okay, so now that I've flipped that as a free action, I'm going to take his movement of 6. I'm going to roll on down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just enough to get here. And he's not going to use any actions quite yet. I'm going to flip this. Oh, a dead end. I can't even get through there. Okay, so this is why this is kind of cool, because these, again, are going to be in a different organization depending on how you set them up to play the game. And so I guess I can go around this way, but I can't get through on this card. I have to go back to the other card to go around right by this enemy here. So, oh, I should have done this before. I'm sorry. We're going to flip the final enemy. It's going to be the rat swarm, and they are the triangle with the line through it. So let's find that square over here, the triangle with a line through it. This is just so if you have multiple enemies on the board, you know who is who. Okay, this is the triangle guy. And with 2 players, he only has 4 health. Pretty awesome. And we're going to have another item. Oh, and another item over here. Okay, sorry, I forgot to put those on. I was supposed to put those on when I revealed the tile. Okay, so that's going to be Odin's turn. We're going to move on to Draven here. And luckily, they were able to, man, I can't believe those 20s. That's awesome. I can't believe that. I don't usually like dice rolling games just because I hate it when you miss over and over and over. It drives me crazy. But man, when you hit a big number, it's pretty cool. It's pretty exciting. Okay, so we're gonna move on to Draven's turn here. And man, what's Draven gonna do? Well, he didn't use his dash last turn again, so those are gonna come off. I don't think that's in the rules. I think if you take a turn and then don't use an ability, I think this stays here and you can't use it again. But we always say if I took a turn and didn't use an ability, it basically resets everything and I can use whatever I want to. But I think in the rules it says it doesn't matter how many times you move and don't do an action. If you don't do an action, you have to wait, and then when you do an action again, then you can move the cube. But we just take it off just because I'm technically not doing it 2 turns in a row because I moved and didn't do an action. So Draven's going to take his turn now. He has a movement of 5. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then he's going to use his dash move. 1, 2, 3. It's going to take him right down here. And that's going to finish the turn. Oops, I bumped the rat swarm there and the item. Okay, that's going to finish the turn there. We're going to roll to see if there's a seismic event. A 17. Oh, no. Okay, the cave is trying to fight back. And so we're going to take a damage here. Odin's going to go to 4, and Draven is going to go to 4 as well. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Trying to figure out if I did that wrong. I thought they both took 2 damage. Oh, he didn't get hit 1 time. That's right. They missed him. But he got hit twice, and so, yeah, he's been taking down 5 damage. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, he should be another one. He should be at 3, actually, because Draven got hit twice. Okay, so Draven's not doing too well. He's only got 3 health left. So let's... we're going to let the rat swarm take their turn. They have a movement of 7. Okay, and they attack from 1 square away. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, just enough for the rat swarm to reach Draven, who only has 3 hit points left. Come on, Draven, pull through. The rat swarm luckily only has a +3 and only causes 1 damage. And he's going to roll an 11. +3 is going to be enough to cause a damage. 2 hit points for Draven. Draven's not doing well. Come on, hang on, buddy. Okay. Let's go back to Odin's turn here. I think Odin is going to attempt another healing. Now, it does say to heal 1 hit point. In the Bloodthorn Island game, I think they're a little more specific about that, and they said it has to be you or an adjacent ally. This is not specific, and so we just say that it's, I'm healing him or an adjacent ally. And so he's going to try to, man, I wonder if we should just try to hit the rat swarm instead of trying to heal. You know what? We're not going to heal. Let's just take out this rat swarm. They've only got 4 health. And man, these 20s I've been rolling lately. So let's get to in range 3 to 5. So he's got to move 1 space away. So he's 1, 2, 3 away now. And he gets a -2. The rat swarm's only got an armor of 12. So if I'm going to roll a 14 plus, I can get him a 9. That's not going to be enough. Okay, so that's going to be a miss for the bolt strike. And since Draven's right next to him here, why don't we let's see. No, I'm gonna move Draven back into the fire. In fact, I'm gonna move him way back. 1, 2. Let's move him way back here. So he goes after the dwarf there. I think Odin's a dwarf. I don't know. Draven's a wizard, I think, and Odin's is like a dwarf kind of guy. Okay, so Draven's gonna hit him with the gust of fire. No bonus for that, but 2 damage. And I need a 12 plus. A 19. All right, that's gonna do it. So 2 damage for the rat swarm. Boom, boom. And let's see here. That's going to finish the round. So now we're going to roll to see if there is a cave-in. And it's a 1. Oh, man. So, again, I can't believe these dice roll. So 1's not supposed to do anything. But we say, hey, 1 is a critical failure of the cave. And so we're going to heal up a life there. Thank you so much, cave. Maybe we found some bandages in the corner or something like that. But anyway, it's a critical failure of the cave. So we should get some boon for that. But that's awesome. Okay, but now this guy gets to attack, and he's going to jump right in here and come after Odin, and he's going to get, again, a +3 to his attack, and it's going to be a 9. +3 is 12. That's not going to be enough to damage Odin, luckily. The nice thing is we've got the rat swarm out here in the open, so he's not locked in this hallway where that can get kind of difficult in the bottleneck there, the hallway. Now, this would be nice if we had the fire. We could use the spear on him, but I think, let's see, Draven's got the spear. The fire is going to give this, go from 1 damage to 3 damage, but I don't have the fire. I think it's one of these other items over here, and they're way the heck over there. I could run over there and grab them probably. And the rat swarm's got a move of 7. He'd be close on my heels. So I think I'm just going to keep pounding on the rat swarm here. We're going to have Odin use his battle axe now. Since I can't use the bolt strike again, we're going to go to the battle axe. He's going to get a +1 to his attack here. Come on, we just need 11 plus. A 5. That's not going to be enough. Okay, 5 is not going to do it. And I think I'm going to use the spear now. So I'm going to go ahead and use the spear. I'm going to discard that. Stick it back underneath here. The spear is going to cause an instant damage. That's going to bring the rat swarm down to 1 hit point. I'm going to roll to see if there's a seismic event. 5. There's no seismic event. Good. So we're safe there. But the rat swarm is going to continue to try to beat on Odin here and try to chew on his shoelaces. A 10 plus 2 is a 12. That's not going to be enough. His armor is 15. I don't know if you guys can see that there. His armor is 15 there, so that's not going to be enough to damage Odin. So now we're going to go back to the hero's turn here. Come on, Odin, can you finish him off here? So Odin just uses battle axe, so he's got to back up a couple spaces here so he can use his ranged attack. And you can see here, a lot of the ranged attacks have a minimum range of 3. Okay, so I can't be right next to him if I'm going to hit him with my bolt strike. And so let's see if Odin can pull off a victory here. He gets a -2 for his bolt strike, but it causes 2 damage. A 3. Okay, that's not going to be enough. For the bolt strike. That's going to be a miss, and it's going to be up to Draven here, which again, Draven did not use his Gust of Fire last turn. He used his spear. So again, I will reset that so I can use his Gust of Fire again there, and we'll put that back on the Gust of Fire. He's going to get a +0, but again, 2 damage. You know what might be better? That's a bad idea. What's a better idea is Draven is just going to charge the rat swarm here. He's going to run right at him, and he's going to use his quarterstaff because he gets a +4 for his quarterstaff, and it causes 1 damage. That's all we need is 1 damage to get rid of these rats. So let's just go with the quarterstaff +4. I'm going to hit on an 8+ because he has armor of 12, and he rolls a 15, which that is going to be enough to finish off the rat swarm, and I have conquered the dungeon. So I'll just show you here. If I would have gotten those other 2 items, again, another rule you can make for yourselves. If you've cleared the dungeon, you obviously can move over and grab those 2 items freely now that all the enemies have been defeated. And in this game, you are allowed to bring 2 items to the next dungeon with you. Now, the tricky thing is, so again, Bloodthorn Island, they maybe thought this was a little bit too difficult. When you complete a mission in this, you completely heal going into the next one. In this game, you only heal 3 hit points. Okay, so Odin's going to heal. He only has 2 down, and he's going to heal 3, 1, 2, 3. So Draven's going to start at only 6 health, according to this game. That's kind of brutal. I don't know, but you can carry items. So the other item is going to be the fire. So that would have been my next item I would have got. 1 alone, 3 with the spear. The spear's already been used, so I can't use that with it, but I will get the fire. And then the final item is going to be the elixir, which is going to heal 1 hit point as a free action on any turn. You can heal yourself or characters adjacent to you and discard for use. So, elixir, you know what? I'm going to use that right now. I'm going to use the elixir right now. I'm going to put Draven up to 7. And we are going to take the transport and the fire into the next dungeon with us. And we're going to read the victory card, which says, after a brief moment's rest, you notice a small glimpse of light emanating from a crack in the far wall, which leads to a narrow stone tunnel. You slowly make your way through on hands and knees, taking in a deep breath before entering the catacombs. And now you can see on the back of this box here, they kind of give you a little idea on what you're trying to do here. You enter this first kind of chamber here, go through these catacombs, and then you end up in this final dungeon here. And this is kind of how the scenario is laid out. This final dungeon where Orem, I think his name was, this Orem executioner guy is buried with his amulet of fire. If you can just get that, then you'll be able to save your town. So again, pretty cool game. It's so simple. Like it's not like the mechanics of this game are going to blow anybody's mind, but the simplicity of the game and the ease of setup and transport just really makes me enjoy this game. And I'll just show you here real quick. So I'm going to dump the dice back in here. I'm going to put all the cubes back in here, and they fit perfectly in 2 layers. And so if you kind of just shake them down in there, usually you can get them all to fall down inside of there. Grab all the cubes off of here, and we'll just stick those back into here. Give them a little shake so you can get them all down in there. Get all down in there, you. Come on. Come on. There we go. Okay. And then, again, so we're going to take, to gather this back up again, we're going to take the enemies here, and we're going to take the items that we used, okay? And then we're going to take our heroes. We're going to stack them up along with their abilities. And I will usually just take these other 2 items that we kept, and I'll tuck them under one. I think Draven had those, but it doesn't matter. I think we picked one of these up at the end, but we'll tuck those under one of the heroes because he's going to hang on to those items for the next scenario. This is the victory thing, so we'll put that on the bottom because that's the thing you read the last. This is the starting tile. And then, again, these other tiles here are going to be in a different arrangement next time you do it. Next time you're going to pull it over and it's like, oh, there's an item first, or you might lift this one up and there's an enemy first. So the dungeons are going to be slightly different the way they're laid out. Obviously, the enemies and the items will be the same, but this will mix up the dungeon a little bit. And here's the opening card there for the game. Stack the heroes back up here. Oh, we'll get the rest of the heroes here too. I'll leave them behind. Grab the rest of the. Oops. Grab the rest of the heroes here. Stick them on top. These introduction cards. Stack this all back up, and your game is put away. Pretty cool. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Again, pretty cool game. This game is a little bit better because you get a boat. You can see here, I don't know if I've show you, we've seen that last video. You get to ride around in a boat. Pretty cool in this game here. And you are basically commandeering your boat here at the docks and heading down the river here to Bloodthorn Island, where there's this giant monster you're going to fight there. Again, I think these games are like $20 or something on their website that you can pick up. Like a gazillion people back these on Kickstarter just because the games are so small and easy to transport, and just a ton of fun. And guys, remember in your lives that sometimes the answer is simplicity. Sometimes we try to overcomplicate things and you look for answers in all the wrong places, or or try to just go overboard with what we're doing to solve our life's problems. And sometimes the answer is just really simple. Look for simplicity in solving your problems. Look for simplicity in your games. Sometimes that's just a way to have a good time. If you got 20 minutes or 30 minutes just to bust this game out and play it through really quick. It might take a little bit longer with more players, maybe even shorter with just one player. The enemies will have even less life. You're just going through totally solo. Or you could play it solo with all 4 players. A lot of options with this game. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you guys are being heroes out there in your real lives once you put your games away. And I hope you're playing a lot of games and having a good time. Thanks so much for watching, guys. You guys take care.